Here I am, getting ready to go to Mass. Well, not exactly. I'm practicing faces for a client. What do you think of this one? Do you think they'll make me a saint? The priest wants to see me suffer. He asked for it. He wants me to have the soul of a martyr. I'm really trying. Look at him. He seems like he's going to be made a saint too, but the truth is very different. He likes me to wear a school uniform and put my hair in pigtails. And he keeps pulling. Suck, baby, suck. He likes to fuck me in the church where he's the parish priest. But he's not my only client, of course. I have many, maybe too many. You have to make a living somehow, right? And New York is an expensive city. There's another client, Louis, who I'm really not eager to see. It's this freak. Sometimes he likes to dress like that. He also likes me to dress this way. He has some tastes in bed that I'd rather not tell you about so I don't scare you. Sometimes he dresses, let's say, normally, and so do I.
I want to talk to you, Lola. I think you and I have a future together.
He's going through what they call a midlife crisis. He turned 40, got divorced, and his professional dreams didn't quite come true. He's a medical doctor, and he's always going on and on about being a doctor. He thinks he's amazing just because he's a doctor.
These days, Lola, everybody wants to be an influencer. People don't appreciate the work we doctors do anymore. But a society can't survive without its doctors, you know.
Or without its prostitutes. What would all these Johns do without their prostitutes? The country would fall apart, for sure. Now let me explain how I got here, why I'm back to what they call the oldest job in the world. The thing is, my real estate business went bankrupt, and my husband lost his job too. He's an idiot. That's why I left him. I was fed up. It was then when I went back to my old ways, when I decided to make a living from this again, until I could get back on my feet, until I could somehow revive my business. Now I was living at my mom's apartment and sharing it with another woman. I needed a lot more money. That's how I came to the conclusion that I should take advantage of my mother having broken her hip to send her to a nursing home and sell her apartment, which, although it was crap, must have been worth close to $1 million. My dearest mother. I had never gotten along with her. She had very outdated ideas. For instance, she never approved of my desire to become a businesswoman.
Women belong at home. Working is a man's job, Lola.
She loved that I was having a hard time now. It finally proved she'd been right all along. What could she do? She was a product of her upbringing. She'd had a rough time herself. My dad used to hit her. Those days you could not divorce your husband. Those days you had to kill the motherfucker. Nobody would have cared much about that son of a bitch, so be it. But my mom didn't know better, and she even cried at his funeral. The things one has to see. That monster hit my sister and me too. What a childhood we had with those parents. After that, I moved to New York, started studying, paid for college however I could, and dragged my sister and my mom along with me to give them a better life. I would have only taken my sister, but she insisted we couldn't leave my mom behind. Too bad. I would have been more than happy to. And, well, this is how I met Charlie, the man I was about to fall in love with. He was head of geriatrics at a hospital. From the start, I caught him giving me the once-over, like so many men. Men run the world, we're their trophies. That's how we used to be raised, right? But I immediately liked him, like a lot. He was handsome, like a stack of bills. Why didn't I think of him when my sister Monica first mentioned him? A chief doc at a hospital had to be well off. Maybe he had a nice house, a sports car, and probably dined in upscaled places all the time. Perfect. I was basically rewriting Cinderella, going full gold digger mode. At that point, I decided Charlie would be mine. But first things first, I went straight to the point. I need to put my mom in a nursing home.
Does she want to go there?
Like that mattered. If my plan with Charlie failed, I still had another plan. Can you declare her senile? Sign some paper. Now he looked puzzled and said he couldn't force her into a home.
That's not legal, Lola.
Sure. Like no doctor ever bent the rules for some extra cash. Everyone has a price. Or maybe if I showed a bit more flirtation, he'd bite. I slid him my business card and gave him my most inviting look. I knew he'd call. He'd invite me out, I'd play coy, and step by step he'd fall under my spell. When you have nothing, you use what you've got. My so-called female weapons, or whatever. He'd be the key to getting my life back on track. Just had to wait for his call. If I knew men, I wouldn't have to wait long.